What happened is about 7 years ago, I wrote a book called How to Be Unstoppable, because everyone always sees me as this unstoppable person. And I've always lived with this mantra, I'm an unstoppable action taker. And then what happened is over the years, I've had people always coming up to me going, I don't know how you do it. How do you do it? And I think what happens is, I think we often as women will look at somebody else who's successful or apparently successful, and then we'll sort of attribute these godlike qualities to them and go, oh my gosh, that person's so amazing, and we pedestalize other women. And I think what I did is I wrote this book, How Does She Do It? And I've got a copy here with me, to basically show that back of house is not pretty. So the answer to the question, how do you do it, is not very well at all, and that's okay. Because I think we as women often think, oh, we're hard on ourselves. We think, I should be better at this, I should be doing more. And we live our lives in this should space rather than the want to space. So, we're hard on ourselves, we try and be perfectionistic, we take on too much, we often battle with boundaries, try to please everybody. So for me, I think it was more just a case of actually, just because maybe I'm a good motivational speaker, it doesn't mean I'm the perfect mom or the best wife, or, and I think also what we do when we as women put somebody on a pedestal, we actually subconsciously taking our own power away, going, well, they're amazing, they can do that, but I'm not like them. Actually, I'm just like you. If I can do all these things, I think you can too. So it's basically giving a plug to other women, saying nobody's got it perfect. We're all just trying our best. Let's all walk each other home. Let's all have each other's backs, and don't put other people on pedestals, and don't have pedestals for yourself either. Just be real. Life is messy, and I think we are living in a very interesting stage of vulnerability where people are more prepared to say, I'm not okay, or I'm battling, or I'm doing it, but I think I'm doing it wrong. And I think when we do that, we don't feel that we have to wear masks. So yeah, that's pretty much my rationale for it. And yeah, I just wanted to also show, sometimes I find women can be so serious. We're so busy, we're so hectic, and we're not always funny, we're not always vulnerable. So I think I've written the book with my sort of trademark sense of humor in it as well, to show that we can have a laugh at ourselves and we can have a laugh at our situations. I think what makes my book different is that it's personal. So everything I write about is stuff that I've experienced, either myself as an entrepreneur and a busy mom, a woman wearing multiple hats, or it's stuff that I've helped people with, or people have helped me with. So a lot of it is what I've done wrong, and kind of like demystifying what looks perfect on the outside is actually not perfect at all. And I learned this, I did this the wrong way. Don't try this at home. Some elements are things that have worked really, really well. So it's not an entrepreneurial textbook. I think it's more of a vulnerable expose of my life as a person who is a motivational speaker, a business coach, a multiple award-winning business owner, a mom, a wife, a sister, a friend, I author, so I think I could speak into anybody's life who is maybe sitting in a similar situation, feeling like they are trying to juggle it all, and maybe feeling like they're failing, and feeling like, geez, I'm really messing up. And I admit, I often feel like that. I often feel like I'm really not measuring up to this crazy standard that we hold for ourselves. And also, I'm looking at things that people see as strengths. Like the one chapter is, why are you so confident? How are you so confident? And talking about, actually, I'm not that confident. How do you have such a great brand? Well, actually, behind the scenes, I have a great brand because I often please people, and I don't always have great boundaries. So I end up doing things for others that makes them find me quite likable and helpful. But at the end of the day, it's not helpful to me or my family. So, so I think it's kind of showing you the downside of the upside, that there's a positive, but for every positive, there's also a corresponding negative. And maybe a real look at what it's like to run a business in these very hard, challenging times. Also include a chapter on the looting and how it affected us in KZN, and how it affected me as a business person and a charity person. And I mean, the one talk that I've been asked to do all the time is on work-life balance. I think people are desperate to find out how to find a work-life balance. And I think I candidly share my thoughts on that I don't believe I'm particularly balanced myself. And that's okay. You know, I think many of us are trying to find this mirage of balance and always berate ourselves that we're not getting it. But so yeah, I think it's a fun book. It's what I've tried to do is give people takeaways, practical nuggets that they can put into practice. They have worked for me, they've worked for other people. And I think I'm also giving women permission to go, you know what, it's okay. I don't have to be so hard on myself. It's okay. That doesn't have to be perfect. And I think we're living in such a fast world. Aiming for perfection or unrealistic standards is just exhausting, and it's very unsustainable. So, you know, for many years, I've had my business. I own a recruitment company called Pro Talent. I've had it for 28 years this month. And, you know, over the years, the business had been very successful. And I always thought, you know, I need to give back, you know, pay it forward. You know, if you have more than you need to hand over to people who are in need. So every year we do like a party for the disabled or for an elderly home, you know, or for an orphanage, just making a difference. But I always felt like it was quite a token. Like I really felt like I wanted to make a bigger difference. 17 years ago, my second daughter was born. Her name is Lexi, and she was literally about 6 weeks old. It was about May in 2005. And I was changing her the one night, and she had just outgrown a little newborn outfit. And I was looking at her cupboard, and I realized, I'm embarrassed to say, but I had 84 baby grows for this little girl. And I thought, oh my gosh, I could clothe 10 poor babies with what I've got here. So what I did is the next day I phoned some friends who were in a similar situation. They had babies and they weren't planning on any more children. And I said, why don't we start something called Love the Babies? And we'll basically make up a bag for the first year of a baby's life. And we'll go to the hospital, you know, maternity ward, the local municipal hospital, and we will offer these to the new mums for free, those who need these bags. And well, it just started an avalanche of donations where people started saying, well, here we go, I can give you cots, I can give you loads more things. And then, and so Love the Baby started, and we realized, you know, and I think the whole ethos of what we do at the Robin Hood Foundation. So Robin Hood was known for taking from the rich and giving to the poor. He used to steal. We don't steal, we ask nicely. And I think it was about going to my trusted network of people to say, you have a business, you are profitable, or you are well off, you know, you're successful. We have got a project. We'd like to make a difference in the lives of the elderly or the disabled or the orphan and vulnerable children, whether it's school uniforms or building a creche or building a house or hosting entrepreneurial conferences. And I think over the years, that's really been our mission, is to take from the rich and give to the poor. Our projects are very transparent. Most of the projects involve us putting something in a bag and directly into the hands of the recipient. So tomorrow we're going to a primary school where there are 900 children. 3 or 4 years ago, we revamped the primary school. We put in this beautiful playground and sports field and put in beautiful new ablution facilities. And tomorrow we've got a back to school project, and they're all getting stationery and snacks and drinks and, you know, just really, you know, giving these underprivileged children, you know, a little bit of a better chance for the year ahead with some much needed supplies. We're also working on building a creche in Shongweni this year. We have just done an empowerment project for 10 people where they've learned how to crochet, how to sew, how to do alterations, and learned how to run a business in that category. So every single week we do something. We even have a thing called the Sami Army, where we get donated bread each week, and we make up sandwiches that go to a local school or shelter, and we work with loads of other NGOs. So yes, it's about looking at the problems in society and going, how can we make a difference? Often what happens is organizations will phone us and say, we've got extra t-shirts, can you give them out? We've got biscuits, can you hand them out? We've got fudge, so whatever, we are known by many people in the business community that we are an ethical and trusted conduit for their products and items that they no longer need or use. We even have a project called Share Your Treasure. And it comes from that statement. We all know that one man's junk is another man's treasure. So you might not be in a position to give us money, and that wasn't ever what we wanted to be about. But you've got items, you've got stuff that you no longer need. You've got shoes, clothing, linen, items in your kitchen that a woman in a poor community, an old gogo, a granny, who's looking after 6 or 7 orphaned children doesn't have. And what we do, which is amazing, I love this, we have a thing called a mahala market. Now, mahala means for free. And the woman will come, and some of the old men identified through social workers, church workers, community workers, they will come there with their ticket and they'll arrive, and we'll give them a massive bag and they can shop for free. And they can choose whatever linen they want. As long as it fits in the bag, they can take it. And you cannot imagine the joy. And I think it creates dignity in giving, where instead of me deciding what that person needs or wants, for them to choose for themselves, and they're not rushed. These are beautiful events, and we'll be hosting another one probably in the next 8 weeks. So I'm looking forward to that as well. So yes, it's just an abundance of projects where we are looking at the problems in society, looking at what people give us, and matching the two. So it's loads of fun. It's been 17 years of absolute joy and abundance. And we have a team of close to 100 volunteers who show up every week to make a difference. So yeah, I think it's a beautiful part of my life. I think many women actually turn self-deprivation into a virtue, and they go, it's okay, I'm a martyr, I don't put myself first, it's all about my family or my boss or my work or my community. And I think it needs to be turned around. I think we need to stop seeing self-care as selfish, but as essential. Because that saying, you can't pour from an empty cup. We all know it. But, I know women who wake up at 4:30 in the morning to make lunch for their children, but they don't make lunch for themselves. I know women who take their children to the dentist, but they don't go. And I think so many women are so busy trying to meet the needs of others that they reach a point in their lives where they actually forget who they are and what they really, really want. They reach a point where I think they are emotionally bankrupt. They've got nothing left in the tank. So when you ask some women, what do you want to do? What are you passionate about? Often they're forgotten because they are so conditioned and so used to caring for everybody else. So I think I see it as an overplayed strength. Our caring, our compassion, our desire to nurture people and support, I think it needs to have a boundary where we go, actually enough now, I need to look after me, or actually I'm not going to be doing that until I've looked after me, and not in a selfish, arrogant way, but in an assertive, practical, rational way. So yeah, I think for us as women, we often put so many people on our hearts. We don't just care for our family, we care for our extended family. The minute we've got free time, we think, what about so-and-so? We must help, and I think men are better at living in silos and putting boundaries around them. Whereas women, I think we've got big hearts for helping each other. And again, even in the workplace, I meet a lot of women who say, especially the last 2 years, a lot of people who've been working remotely or in a hybrid manner, they don't quite know when to finish work. They've got their family, but they also have their work. And then what happens at night is they're trying to work as well, check the emails, check WhatsApps, look after the family. And I don't think they end up ever really stopping. So I think for a lot of women, their day involves obligation, duty, and sacrifice. There's very little play. There's very little about what they really want to do. And I think a lot of women are depriving themselves, and they never do what makes their souls soar. They never do they never give themselves permission to do the things that they absolutely love. And I think, if we can include that every single day, not just once a week or on holiday, but every day to do that little thing, whether it's going for a walk with a dog, whether it's having a cup of tea in the garden, whether it's a phone call to a best friend, or having a massage, or you know, going to the doctor for a checkup, or you know, having a nap on a weekend. So yeah, I don't think we should be slavishly devoted to anything, not to our families, not to our work, not to our community. I think there's got to be something that's still for us, because, you know, I think I'm seeing at the moment a lot of people look completely and utterly burnt out. They're exhausted. They have nothing left. And we've had a very, very hard 2 years with the pandemic. So I would encourage women to ask themselves, what do I need? We're so used to asking other people, how can I help you? What do you need? But to maybe start with that conversation with themselves and find out what they need.